Yo. Hey guys, it's poppin'. Jacques Slade here. Back with another unboxing. And today, I have something that I'm gonna say is pretty special for you guys. So a few years ago, if you follow sports, you know that Tiger Woods left the Nike family and started out on his own with a company called Sunday Red, which you can see here on this box. Now, apparel is one thing, and a lot of people make apparel. So apparel wasn't really a concern for a lot of us golfers / sneakerheads in the world, but shoes were. Now, based on what I've seen of these, I don't think we have anything to worry about. So with that being said, let's get into it. So this is Tiger Woods' first new shoe with Sunday Red. It was just announced today. It's gonna be on sale for $250. But before we get into all of that, let's actually take a look at the shoes. Now, Sunday Red has done a fantastic job when it comes to the packaging. If you can see this box here, this is next level. Very well done. I'm a sucker for a nice box as a sneakerhead. This is gonna separate itself. It really shows that it's premium, which kind of justifies that price point, which is $250, but there's a lot more inside. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the shoe, actually, let me tell you the shoe. The shoe is actually called the Pioneer Cyprus, which you can see right there. I had a meeting with the designers of the shoe and Sunday Red, and what they said is that they're going to start naming the shoes after golf course trees, and Cyprus is a golf course tree. There's another shoe that's coming out that I got to get a sneak peek at that looks pretty dope as well, and it has a different name, but this one is the Cyprus, the Pioneer Cyprus. The line is gonna be called Pioneer, and so it's gonna be like Cyprus and whatever the name of the other trees are that they're gonna name for the shoes. So let's get into this packaging though. Nice thick cardboard, like they spared no expense, and you're greeted with an angry face of Tiger Woods. So Tiger Woods is angry, staring at you there. You can see, look at him standing there. It's called Match the Intensity, and it gives a quick breakdown. Thank you for buying the shoes. Thank you for buying the Cyprus, and appreciating your support. And then this is actually a postcard if you wanna send it to somebody. Maybe you write a note to one of your playing buddies and let them know to match your intensity or to match your bet or press your bet or something like that. They come with shoe bags, nice cloth shoe bag, nothing super crazy there, but there's two individual shoe bags, so you can put them in individual bags. Has nice thick strings here to tie them all together. Very, very well done. Just really great presentation, which you would expect for the very first shoe out of the gate. So hopefully they continue this sort of packaging and keep this sort of feel for all of the releases that they do from the Sunday Red line. But I really like these bags. They look really great. Two nice bags with put individual shoes in. So very nice look there. Now let's get into the actual footwear, because this is where things get really interesting. So with Tiger Woods, you expect performance. And when I talked to the designers, that was one of the things they were really focused on, is that Tiger wanted to look at shoes as more of a utility as opposed to anything else. He wanted to make sure that they performed just as he needed them to perform on the course. And that's why a lot of the design ideas that happen to be on this shoe, that's where they come from. So let's get into them. Nice Sunday Red tissue paper. Always nice to add that little bit of touch of personalization here when it comes to the shoes. Another accessory it comes with some white and red laces. If you want to get your laces switched up out of these, it starts with the white. But let's get into the silhouette. Now, something that runners are really familiar with is the drop from the heel to the toe. Sometimes more performance running shoes have a higher heel to toe drop, but for these shoes, what Tiger asked for was a smaller drop. So these have a 6mm drop, and the reason for that was that Tiger wanted to be able to feel the ground a lot more than a shoe that would typically have a heel and you would miss some of it there, and so the drop's a little more. He wanted to make sure that he had a feel for the ground and a feel for the greens. If you watch golfers on TV, you'll see a lot of times they walk around and they feel the green with their feet to find out the slope and the pitch of the greens. And Tiger wanted to make sure that he could feel the greens as well as feel the course. So these don't have a huge drop from the heel to the toe. It's just 6 millimeters, which is a very cool concept. Now, in addition to that, as far as feeling things go, they are including 2 sets of insoles. Now, one of these looks really interesting. So this is what they're calling the massage insole. And as you can see, it has like these bumps, I guess you would call them, on it. And it feels really, really weird. Let's do a quick try on and give you my first reactions to the massage insole. Okay, so this is my first try on with the regular insoles, and I like the way that these look. Nice and comfy. You can feel like the ground, basically. I mean, obviously I'm on a hardwood floor inside, so it's not as crucial, but you can feel all of the spikes on the inside. But more importantly, let's try these out, because that is wild. So let's try these just on the ground. Oh, that's weird. That's interesting. I wonder how it's going to feel inside the shoes, because inside the shoe, I feel like these nodules, I guess you can call them, are going to take up more space. Yeah. Let's try them out. All right. Oh yeah, that is a very unique difference as far as wow. It's a completely different feeling than what you expect. I'm not sure how to describe it. Now, they call them massage insoles. And I imagine after a bunch of walking, these would, maybe it's to relieve like pressure in certain spots in case you get a hot spot. These can kind of give you some movement on the bottom of your feet. But if I'm being completely honest, it feels a little bit like there's sand in your shoe. It's very much like a sand feeling, but it's the entire foot. Now, you know how sometimes you get like something in the bottom of your shoe or something and you're like, oh, let me get that out of my shoe. But it's over the entire foot, so it's different a little bit. I'm interested in seeing how this feels over a full round. I'll have to, if you guys follow me over on Instagram, and I'll play a full round. Actually, I'll play a full round in these tomorrow. All right, let's get back to the table. Okay, one last test. Ooh, ooh. I'm trying to see if it irritates my feet. Anyway, all right, let's get back to the table and finish this unboxing. So another detail on the insole is they have a quote on the back. It's almost like a bit of a hidden detail there from Tiger Woods, which says put in the time. As we all know, Tiger is a monster when it comes to putting in the work and making sure that he's prepared. So it's very much a Tiger saying to put in the time, because you will see the results if you put in the work. Love that touch. Now, the other ones are more of your normal fare when it comes to insoles, but one thing about both of these is that they're a lot thicker than you would get with a normal insoles. For those of you that, that are really into sneakers, you know that sometimes you get really thin insoles, but these are nice and thick. See, this one here has the Sunday red there on the heel, and then on the other side, it says, do the work, do the time, and do the work. So you have both of those like messages there from Tiger. Put in the time and do the work, which is appropriate when it comes to the game of golf, because nothing comes overnight. And so you have both of those, just a different feel. And then they obviously have the touch of like the tiger print on those to give them that sort of tiger feel. And then these are like the tiger stripes on there as well. It's all an ode or an homage to the word tiger. If you're very eagle-eyed as a sneakerhead, you'll see that these strobo boards on these look a little bit different, and that's because they did something different than you usually get with a more like classical shoe that's like this. Usually they use a piece of cardboard for the strobo, but what they've done, if you open this up here to see a little bit, see if I can get this top camera, you open that up and you can see a little bit, that's actually EVA foam that they put inside of the shoe on the strobo board. So what that's going to do is that when you step into the shoe, in addition to the comfort that you get from this thicker than a normal midsole, I mean, you could see how much it's holding itself there. It's not like flipping like that. Like, this is a nice thick insole. In addition to that, you have EVA on the strobo board with a textile backing. So that's gonna give you a little bit of extra cushion on when you slip your foot into the shoe. Now, why is that important for a golf shoe? Kind of like basketball, where you're constantly on your feet all day, professional golfers actually have to walk the course. You can get a medical exemption to ride in the car, but it's very rarely done. So for the most part, guys are walking in the course every time they play a round of golf. And I believe the quote is that they do 7 miles during the course of a round, so they're walking 7 miles, so comfort is paramount. Now, in addition to the EVA that they have on the insoles, they have EVA on the midsole as well to provide the full cushioning for the full sneaker. And this is harder than normal. According to the designers, Tiger was very specific that he didn't want it to be able to sink down into the EVA. And so this is a very firm version of EVA that they're using. They said they had to go back to Tiger 3 or 4 times, and he kept requesting that it would be firmer and firmer until they got to this point here where they feel it was just what Tiger wanted. And again, all of this is for Tiger to have the feel of the ground. If it's soft, it's gonna give in certain areas, but with the firmer, he can feel the contours of the ground a lot more. Keeping with that concept of feeling the ground, as you can see, this shoe is all about performing and being able to feel the course and feel the ground and make sure you have the traction and everything that you need. And that's where we get this plate from. So if you see here, it has a full length plate. So there's a TPU plate that goes from the heel to the toe. And in addition to that, they have 9 removable spikes. Again, at the request of Tiger to have these spikes in these positions so that he could get the feel that he needed when he was swinging the club. A lot of the club speed that you see people have comes from what they call ground force, which is essentially you sitting into the ground and then pushing back up off of the ground, or essentially letting the ground push into you. And obviously traction is an important part of that equation, because if you sit down into the ground and your foot slips away, then it's going to mess up your swing. But with this traction pattern that they've put together for Tiger, the idea is that you'll sink into the ground, have that traction, and be able to push back off the ground and have that sort of ground force that you want. And Tiger specifically requested that the full plate would have ground contact. Again, sometimes you see saddle shoes that look like this, and there is a disconnect here because they have a heel, and then there's a swoop down, and then you have the forefoot. For this one, they had the TPU plate go from the heel to the toe, and it's constant all the way through so that the entire bottom of your foot has contact, so you can feel it completely and you don't lose any of that surface area that's on the ground. And they also have secondary traction. So in addition to the removable spikes, which you can see here, there's 9 of them, there's more knobs here that add additional traction. And they said they had to specifically design these in a way that the spikes sat just a little bit above the secondary traction so that these gave the primary traction, and then the secondary nodules were there as well in case these relax down a little bit. With these, because they're not steel and they're not hard like baseball cleats, these relax a little bit. So they had to get these secondary nodules or secondary spikes on the TPU plate to be just the right height so that they would engage with the ground as well. It's very, very, very interesting. It's really interesting to see how much detail they went into when making this shoe. Now outside, of those things, there are some personal details to Tiger. Obviously, you have the Tiger logo there. You have the Sunday red. On the back here, you have these 2 stitches here, and this is supposed to represent being inside of the ropes. Your foot is inside the ropes. In golf, that's a term, being inside the ropes, which is where the players go. You also have the Sunday red here on the tongue as an homage to the brand, and it's actually sewed on an additional tongue piece there. There's lots of padding happening here around your ankle. Again, that's more for comfort because you're on your feet all day long. So you have that thick comfort there, that thick padding that's gonna be right around your ankle. You have a padded tongue, which is nice. Another feature that they thought of when it comes to comfort is making this shoe seamless on the inside so that you don't have any hot spots around your toes. Some of you have played basketball, have worn shoes where you feel like you get that hot spot right around the edge of your toes, between your foot and your toe, or right more up on your foot. They've eliminated some of those seams down here so that you don't have those hot spots, which for someone like me, I really appreciate, because I hate having to worry about my shoes when I'm playing a sport. Your shoes should not be a concern of yours when you're on the course or on the court or on the field or on the pitch, I guess. I think that's all of them. Anyway, now the style of the shoe is obviously a little more classical, and this is obviously not something that I would typically wear, but you can tell that they put in a lot of thought when it comes to this design. They have some beautiful piping that goes around the shoe here from the midsection of the shoe. They have that same piping here at the heel. The stitching looks absolutely immaculate. You can tell they really paid attention when they were putting the stitches together on the shoes. And if you are someone that wears dress shoes, you can see the stitching here around the midsole and how nice that actually looks. It looks absolutely beautiful, just done really, really well, and shows you the time and commitment that they put in to putting these shoes together. Now, talking to the designers is always interesting to me because they give you a little more insight into some of the design decisions that they made. And one of them was something that I honestly didn't even notice when I had the shoes in my hand. If you see here at the edge of the TPU plate, the edge of the TPU plate has been rounded over. And talking to Charlie, who is the designer of the shoe, he said that Tiger specifically asked that he wanted to be able to roll over onto his point instead of it happening suddenly because there's a sharp edge. So they just made and rounded the edge of the TPU plate so that when he's rolling over onto his toe, that it's not a here, then here, it's a gradual move that goes on to his toe. Now, that's a small, minor detail, but the fact that Tiger and Charlie and the rest of the design team were thinking about those small details is really exciting to me, because they're really thinking about every possibility and really like pulling out every piece of performance that they can find when it comes to the design of the shoe. Another thing, the leather. Getting leather right on a golf shoe is really hard because it has to be waterproof. It has to be able to withstand the elements, but you also don't want it to be hard and uncomfortable. You want it to be soft, and they've done a really good job with these. I feel like this is a nice middle ground when it comes to the softness of the leather. I actually wish some of my sneakers felt this way because this leather is really nice. It's not hard and plasticky. It feels pretty much right on par with what you would expect. Breathability is always important as well. So you can see here at the toe cap, most of this is blocked off and there's no way for the shoe to breathe, but for the midsection and all the way through to the heel, they've added some perforations in the leather to make sure that the shoe is breathable so that your feet don't get super hot inside the shoe. Again, thinking about all of the details to really put together a complete package for Tiger, which is, you know, a big deal, honestly. Like, imagine being the designer that's tasked with designing the shoe for Tiger Woods after he leaves a big brand like Nike. I do not envy the place that Charlie and his design team was in. But we will see Tiger wearing these when he gets back on the course. It may not be this colorway. There's actually, I believe, 6 colorways that are happening during the launch. There's 3 that are gonna be $250, and then there's another 3, or there's 4 that's gonna be $250, and another 2 they're gonna be $275. The $275 are limited edition versions, and they have like special paint jobs on them. I disagree a little bit with the pricing with those. I feel like those should be $250 as well, but they're limited, and so you know how limited things go inside the sneaker world. I wish they would have definitely kept them at the same price, because those are the pairs that I like. They have like these speckles on the back, so it gives the shoe a little more color and a little more character. Beautiful shoes, very well done. Shout out to the Sunday Red team. These are actually available right now if you want to go grab yourself a pair over at Sunday Red. For a classical saddle looking golf shoe, this fits the bar, and with the technical and performance adjustments that have been made to the shoe, I feel like this will be one of the better performing shoes on the course. They look good on foot, as you've seen throughout this video. I've rocked them a little bit here around the studio, and I've got to give them a proper round, which I think I will do tomorrow, and really give them a go on the course and see how they feel after walking a full round. Anyway, as always, I appreciate you. I am Jacques Slade. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe. And then again, these come with 2 sets of insoles, which I really like. This one here, this is good. This is so good. And then extra laces and the bags as well. Anyway, as always, guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.